Welcome back, dear learners. I'm sure that from the last videos, you might be clear on different topics like what is probability, what are the different theories of probability, different terms used in probability, theorems of probability like addition theorem, multiplication theorem, and uh, from the basic chapter like measures of standard tendency, dispersion, what the values you have found, like for finding out arithmetic mean or median or standard deviation, you worked on the observed frequency distribution. You worked on the observed frequency distribution. In this theoretical distribution, we are going to find out how this expected frequency distribution can be mathematically deduced. And such expected frequency distribution is mathematically deduced on the basis of some previous experience or some theoretical consideration. And this frequency distribution, this frequency is known as expected frequency. What we have studied in case of measures of central tendency, dispersion, that is all about observed frequency. We simply wrote f. It is known as observed frequency or the actual frequency. Let us see what are the different types of theoretical distribution. There are many types of theoretical distribution, and the most popular one is this three, known as binomial, Poisson, and normal. In this video, we'll be covering the first type, known as binomial distribution. What does this binomial distribution refers to? Let us see what does this binomial distribution refers to. Binomial distribution is otherwise known as Bernoulli distribution. This is otherwise known as Bernoulli distribution since this was associated with the name Swiss mathematician James Bernoulli. So this binomial distribution is known as binomial distribution, or else it is known as Bernoulli distribution. Binomial distribution is a one method of the probability distribution which expresses the probability of occurrence of one set of dichotomous alternatives. Dichotomous alternatives or events means what? Two opposite events. I've clearly written in bracket two opposite events. When we are talking about success, one event is success, one event is failure. These are known as the two opposite event, and this binomial distribution, it expresses the probability of one set of dichotomous event, and this one set of dichotomous events are known as two opposite events, like known as success and failure. This Bernoulli process or Bernoulli distribution or binomial distribution, it is developed under some specific set of assumptions are there. These assumptions need to be fulfilled. Then only we can go for binomial distribution. Let us see what are the assumptions. The first assumption being that the experiment should be performed under the same condition. Condition should not be changed. The experiment which you are doing, it should be performed under the same conditions for any fixed number of trials, say n. It may be 10 number of trials, 20 number of trials. For example, you are tossing the coin. First time you are tossing the coin, again you are tossing the coin. The condition is prevailing, the prevailing condition is the same. There is no change. And the second assumption is that in each trial, how many trials you are doing? For example, while tossing the coin, you will be having two outcomes, two possible outcomes. There are only two possible outcomes of the experiment, and they are called success or failure. Success or failure. You have two outcomes of binomial distribution. One is success, another one is failure. And the third one is the success is represented as P and the failure is represented as Q. We have already seen in the previous videos what is P and Q. When we are adding this success and failure, P and Q together will be getting 1. The total should be equal to 1. And what it is being told, the probability of success should remain the same. The probability, for example, while tossing a coin, when we are tossing a coin, what happens? For example, you are tossing a coin, and when you are tossing the coin, the probability of getting head is always 50%. Is always 50%. It is not at all changing. When it is 50%, tail is also 50%. For example, if I am finding out the probability of getting a head, it is known as P, known as success, and the other one is known as Q, failure. So therefore, the chances of an event being success is half. In every trial, in n number of times I am tossing the coin, every time the chance of getting head is half, T is half. In case if this changes, it is no more considered as binomial distribution, right? This is the condition. And all the all the trials, for example, first attempt I am doing, second attempt I am doing, it should be independent, as we have seen in case of independent events under multiplication theorem, the same concept you can see. So therefore, these are the assumptions. The first assumption is the condition should be same. Second is there should be two possible outcomes, success and failure, and the chances of success and failure, the probability of success and failure should not change. In case if it is changing, it is no more known as binomial distribution. And all the trials should be independent of each other. It should not be dependent. Like it is possible in case of dice. It is possible in case of deck of cards. In case if we are playing with replacement. If without replacement, if we are playing, it won't be considered as binomial distribution. Okay. Let us see what is probability function of binomial distribution. I have already explained this, that for example, if a coin is tossed once, we have how many outcomes? Two outcomes. Getting head, it is known as success. Getting tail is known as failure. Both are having half-half. So when we are adding this together, half plus half is equal to 1. And in this we have certain different terms of binomial terms you would have studied in your school level, terms of binomial, like a plus b whole square. So here, for example, if we are tossing the coin two times if we are tossing the coin, at that time n will be, formula is q plus p to the power n. This is your formula, q plus p to the power n. What is the formula? We know a plus b whole square. What is the formula? Formula is a square plus 2ab plus b square. This is the simple one which we remember till date, right? Likewise, this binomial expansion which you are going to do for n number of trials, it may be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 20, any number. We have to go for that. Okay. So these are the terms how we can expand. For example, for q plus p whole square, the value is q square plus 2qp plus p square. As I have told you about a plus b whole square, a square plus 2ab plus b square. Just keep q in place of a and p in place of b and just do it. This is, for example, if I am tossing 2 times, if I am tossing 3 times coin, if I am tossing 6 times. I have just written the example, and you should remember that when you are expanding this term, for example, if you are expanding this, if the n is 2, the expansion, the terms, this is known as terms, q square, 2qp, these are the different terms of binomial. And these terms of binomial will be always plus 1, n plus 1. q plus p whole square is 2, तो 2 plus 1 is 3. यहाँ पे 3 है, 3 plus 1 is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 terms है यहाँ पे 6 है, तो यहाँ पे 1, 1, 1 you can count, it is 7. So number of terms will be 1 more, right? This is the value I have written for the formula which I have written for n. The main concept, main formula is this one, which is applicable for everyone. R is equal to success. R is equal to success. NCR refers to binomial coefficient. NCR refers to binomial coefficient, this one. Pn refers to the last one. Like you can see here, for example, it is q plus p to the power n. How you are going to write? It is n q square. You are starting with the maximum, q to the power n. You are starting with the maximum. When it is square, you have to write it 2 plus nc1 is the binomial coefficient. इसको कहते हैं binomial coefficient. This is known as the binomial coefficient. Qn minus 1, you can see in each term, like here it is q square, in the next term q1, then q0. Likewise, in the first term p is 0, then p1, p2, p3, p4 till pn it will be going. So that is what I have written in this formula. These are the probability distribution for number of heads. The same I have written here. The same for 0, 1, 2, 3 are the same, it is written here. You can go through this. So therefore, how to expand this? Yeah, you can see that P refers to what? Probability. Probability of success in a single trial is known as P. R refers to number of success. P refers to probability of success. R refers to number of success. For example, if I want to find 10 times you have tossed a coin, I want to get 2 heads. That 2 is known as R. Getting 2 is known as success. R number of success in n trials, and NCR is binomial coefficient. Now the thing is how to find out the coefficient binomial coefficient. How to find out binomial coefficient? No doubt the thing how we have found this, the way of finding this we are going to see now. So in this we will see how to find out the coefficient. No, it's not required to memorize the coefficients. Memorize करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. You can easily find out the coefficients by a simple method. You can see the first one is Q6. The first coefficient is Q plus P to the power 6 we are going to do here. First power is, first you have to write as it is Q6. In this what you can see that the power of P is 0. What will happen? The power of Q will go on reducing by 1 in each term. जैसे first Q6 होगा, next Q5, Q4, Q3, likewise it will go on. For example, if I am writing like this, Q6, Q5, Q4, Q3. For example, like this, if it happens, it's gone again. For example, Q6 plus Q5 plus Q4 plus Q3, so on. It will end with Pn, P to the power maximum, it will be ending. You can see like this, Q5, Q4, Q3, Q2, Q and Q0. Any value to the power 0 is 1. Here also you have, in this value you have P0. Any value to the power 0 is equal to 1. It will start with P0, it will end with Q0. Right. So how you are going to find out this coefficient? Coefficient value आप कैसे निकालोगे? In the first term known as Q6, इसमें यहाँ पे देखिए, in the first term the Q coefficient is 1. What you have to do? You have to multiply this. 6 into 1, 6. And यहाँ पे P का पावर कितना है? 0 है. P का पावर में एक और ऐड करना है, मतलब हो गया P0 से P1. Now that you have to P1, 6 divided by 1, so the value will be 6 here, right? And in the same way you have to find out in the succeeding terms. You can see यहाँ पे मैंने P0 लिखा, यहाँ P1, यहाँ P2, P3, likewise it will go on. ठीक है? So how to find out the binomial coefficient of this value? 6 into 5 करो, 6 into 5 करने से what value you are getting? 6 5 is 30 डिवाइडेड बाय P का पावर कितना है? 1 है, उसमें एक ऐड करो, कितना हुआ? 2. उसको डिवाइड करो, 30 divided by 2 is 15. Right? This is how you can do it. Like this you can continue doing the other terms. Just remember that first you can write down the values of Q, power of Q. Start with Q6, Q5, Q4, Q3, Q2, Q1 and Q0. 1 लिखने की जरूरत नहीं, you can write it as Q, and Q0 is not essential because any value to the power 0 is equal to 1. Like that you can start with P0, P1, P2, 3, P4, P5. You could write all the powers of Q and all the powers of P. Then you can easily calculate the binomial coefficient. This is how you can compute. So you can see that the n, in case of binomial expansion, the term will be 1 more than n. If it is 6, the total terms will be 7. If it is 7, the total terms will be 8. Likewise, this is the Pascal triangle. It is very useful in case if you are not able to memorize it. In case if you are not able to memorize it, you can memorize with the help of this also. Like 1 plus 1, you have to write 1 everywhere, like 1 and 1 you are starting with. Write down 1 here, 1 plus 1 is 2, then 1. Then write down again 1, 2 plus 1 is, add this 3, add this 3, 1. Then you can write down 1, 3 plus 1, 4, 3 plus 1, 4, 3 plus 3, 6, 3 plus 1, 4, again 1. Likewise, 1, 4 plus 1, 4 plus 1, 5, 10, 10, 4 plus 1, 5, 1. This is for what? This is for n square, number of trials 2. We did for this, we have did for this one now. Q plus P to the power 6 we have done. If you want to go for, just you can, this is the binomial coefficient which we have. We can easily find out with the help of Pascal triangle if you are not remembering or memorizing the values, or if you forget the method which I have told you now. But the method which I told you is more easier because this may take more time. Forming the triangle, then coming, if you want to go for 10, you have to write till 10. So it is it is easy also, but it is time consuming. But it is one method You should keep this in mind, and no need to memorize this also. You can find out automatically till the values which is being given. Let us see the first sum illustration. A coin is tossed 6 times. A coin is tossed 6 times. So, therefore, n is what? N is equal to 6. Coin is given. So, there is head and tail. In case of head and tail, they won't give the chance of success because it is already, for success is half, tail is half. 50% chances for both the faces to appear. What is the probability of obtaining 4 or more heads? The question is, what is the probability of obtaining 4 or more heads? What is the probability? What you have to do is, first of all, you have to find out that this is what I have already told you. The probability of getting a head is half, success. Probability of getting a tail, failure, is half. So, you have to find out the expansion of this, q plus p to the power 6, right? So, you have found the expansion q plus p to the power 6. Expansion आपने निकाल लिया, ठीक है. Once you are finding out the expansion, what is the question asked? Question is, what is the probability of obtaining 4 or more heads? 4 or more head means what? Head क्या है? Head is your p. What is tail? Tail is your q. 4 or more head मतलब p4 आना चाहिए. For p4, p5, p6. So ये पूरा terms को you have to find out the solution. So the answer will be what? p4. This is your p4, p5. What is the probability of getting 4 or more heads? So these terms you have to find out. आप क्या कर सकते हो? 4 heads का अलग से निकालो, जैसे मैंने यहाँ पे निकाला है. 5 heads also you can find out separately. 6 heads also you can find out separately. Or all together also you can do like this. So एक साथ निकाल के भी आप solve कर सकते हो. No issue. The values of probability of getting 4 heads, 5 heads, 6 heads. What the value you are getting, you have to solve the values by putting the values, like in place of q and p you have to put half, and you have to find out the value, add it up all together and you will be getting the answer. So the chances of getting head p4 or more head is 34% chances is there, 0.3436. Next question is, the incidence of a certain disease is such that on an average 20% of the workers suffer from it. In this case they have given the chance because we don't know disease. When they are talking about head, when they are talking about cards also, when they are talking about dice, we know what is the possibility of getting. While throwing a die, we know the possibility of getting a tail. Sorry, a 1, a 2, 3, 6. We know that is all the possibility of getting all the sides are 1 by 6. We are sure. We know that. But in case of this disease, we are not aware. So what the information they are giving, that we have to take. A person suffering from it is 20%. So this will be your success. 20% means 0.20. So the not suffering is 0.80. So this one is your p and this one is your q, right? Remaining method is the same. If what you have to do is 10 workers suffer from it, it means q plus p to the power 10. This you have to find, you have to expand it and you have to find the solution. First question what it is being asked, exact 2 workers suffer from the disease. Matlab the term which consists of p square should be solved like this. The term consisting of p square, this need to be solved. Exactly 2 persons of probability that exactly 2 workers suffer from it. This you have to solve. P, in place of p you have to put 0.2, in place of q you have to put 0.8. 0.8 8 times, 0.2 2 times, you have to multiply and you have to find out the answer. Answer is 0.302. Okay. Next one is, not more than 2 workers suffer from the disease. Next question is, not more than 2 workers. But it means what? No workers suffer from the disease, 1 worker suffer from the disease, and 2 workers suffer from the disease. So this all together you have to find and solve like this. Q10 means p is 0. In this p is 1. In this p is 2. So not more than 2 workers suffer from the disease. So you have to solve this term in order to get the answer. So answer is 0.677 is the answer. Next, moving to the constants of binomial distribution. Let us see what are the constants of binomial distribution. Constants of binomial distribution we have, as we have already studied the different like how to find out the mean of observed frequency. The formula is entirely different, which we have seen in case of measures of central tendency and all. Like, but this is a binomial distribution. It means it is a theoretical value. This is the mean we are going to find out for the binomial distribution, and this is known as the theoretical value, that is the observed value, right? The mean of binomial distribution is NP. NP, you know what is N? Number of trials. You know what is P? P is number of probability of success. P refers to probability of success. The standard deviation is equal to root over NPQ. No doubt, N you know, P you know, Q you know. Third one is first moment. First moment is written like this, mu1, which is 0. Likewise, second moment is otherwise your variance or second moment. Formula is NPQ. And the third moment is NPQ, Q minus P. Fourth moment is given. Likewise, beta 1 is a measure of skewness and beta 1 is a measure of skewness. Beta 2 is a measure of kurtosis. For example, if beta 1 is equal to the distribution, symmetrical, there is no skewness. Fisher has given a moment measure of skewness. Let us see what's it. If this moment measure, if this if this is equal to 0, the distribution is symmetrical. Symmetrical means what? It will be exactly bell shaped. If it is greater than 0, it is positively skewed towards right. If it is less than 0, it is negatively skewed. Likewise, the Fisher has given moment measure of kurtosis also, which is being symbolized as gamma 2. Formula is beta 2 minus 3. So if it is equal to 0, the distribution is known as mesokurtic. It is already shown here. It is known as mesokurtic. Normal is mesokurtic. Normal is known as mesokurtic. Gamma 2, where it is greater than 0, distribution is known as leptokurtic. It is peaked. And when it is less than 0, it is this one known as platykurtic. It is almost flat type. So its name is platykurtic. I've already explained this. For example, formula you can see, if the probability of defective vault is 0.1, probability of defective vault is 0.1, that is P, Q is 0.9. You can find out 1 minus P. Find the mean of the standard deviation for a distribution of defective vaults in a total of 500. So this is the theoretical value which you have to find. Mean you have to find out. In this you have to find out mean and you have to find out standard deviation. N is 500. So formula of mean I've already told you. The formula of mean is NP. So you have N 500, you have P also 0.1. So accordingly you can find out is 50. Like this. Standard deviation also you can find out root over NPQ. Root over, it's complete root over NPQ. It is root over NPQ. You have to multiply all this and you have to find out the root. Your answer will be there. Next one is asked is moment measure of skewness and kurtosis. As for the formula, you can write down moment coefficient of skewness beta 1. So in that the formula I have already given how to find out this beta 1 once, and accordingly you can find out the gamma 1. It is 0.118, which means it is more than 0. When it is more than 0, it is known as positively skewed. I've already mentioned. Next one is gamma 2. You can see it is also, you have to find apply the formula and you have to do it. Apply the formula and you have to do it, and you can see that gamma 2 is positive, which means it is more than 0, which means it is leptokurtic, normal. If it is less than 0, it is platykurtic. If it is normal, you can see it is mesokurtic. Let's next topic under this binomial is fitting a binomial distribution. Fitting a binomial distribution, through this only we'll be getting theoretical values known as expected frequency. We can compute with the help of fitting a binomial distribution. What we have to do in order to compute the expected frequency with all the terms. For example, if you have been given with q plus p to the power n, like it is 7 or 8, whatever it is, with all terms individually you can take 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. You can take all the terms, you can mention against that number of trials, and with that you have to multiply the capital N. You will be getting expected frequency. So very simple method. So first you have to determine steps I have written. First, you have to determine the value of P and value of Q, and the total of P and Q should be equal to 1. Second one is you have to expand the binomial. I've already told you how to expand the binomial. If you're having n, you can easily expand. For example, if you're having Q plus P to the power 8, accordingly you can expand, and each term, like for example, for first term 0, second term likewise you will be writing. For first term the value is Q to the power with maximum power you are going to write Q, the 2Q to the power. For example, if it is 8, Q to the power 8 you will be starting with. First is what? First is the maximum power of failure. First is the maximum power of failure, and the last term is the maximum power of success. Likewise, it means what? P0. This will be, this 0 means what? This refers to P. Likewise, P1, Q7, right? So likewise, this will be 8. If it is 8, you will be taking like this. With this, you have to multiply. हर term के साथ आपको क्या करना है? Capital N multiply करना है. You will be getting the multiply each term of the expanded binomial with n. With the expanded binomial. For example, first term Q to the power 8 है, इसके साथ n को multiply करना है. You will be getting the answer. ठीक है? And that will be your expected frequency. For example, a sum is given. In this also 8 coins. 8 coins is what? What is 8 coins? 8 coin जो है ये आपका छोटा n है. मैक्सिमम कितना नंबर ऑफ टाइम्स? ये आपका कैपिटल n है. सारे के साथ यू हैव टू मल्टीप्लाई दिस. और जो ये फ्रीक्वेंसी दिया हुआ है, दिस इज नोन एज ऑब्जर्व्ड फ्रीक्वेंसी, जो एक्चुअली अकर हुआ है. ऑब्जर्व्ड फ्रीक्वेंसी या तो एक्चुअल फ्रीक्वेंसी. अभी व्हाट द वैल्यू वी आर गोइंग टू फाइंड आउट, that is known as expected frequency. Expected frequency निकालने के लिए this is not required, right? Number of heads observed at each throw is recorded and the result are given below. So this is already 8 times coins has been 256 times जो coin है it has been thrown 8 coins has been thrown 256 times. It is being shown and the value and the frequency is being recorded, and this frequency is what? It is the actual frequency. So first question is what you have to find out. First question is what you have to find out the expected frequency. आपको क्या निकालना है? Expected frequency निकालना है पहला क्वेश्चन. सेकंड क्वेश्चन क्या दिया? Theoretical values of mean and standard deviation निकालना है, जो मैंने अभी बताया था. You have to find out the theoretical values of mean and standard deviation. Theoretical values मतलब क्या है? Mean is equal to NP, standard deviation is equal to root over NPQ. बाइनोमियल का जो देखा था, ठीक है ना. कैलकुलेट आल्सो द मीन एंड स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन ऑब्जर्व्ड फ्रीक्वेंसी. ऑब्जर्व्ड फ्रीक्वेंसी मींस व्हाट? जो एक्चुअल आपका फ्रीक्वेंसी है उसका मीन और स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन. दिस यू वुड हैव लर्न इन केस ऑफ मेजर्स ऑफ सेंट्रल टेंडेंसी एज वेल एज डिस्पर्शन. तो दैट वैल्यू, दैट फॉर्मूला यू हैव टू यूज, लाइक इन ऑर्डर टू फाइंड आउट द, सिंस इट इज अ डिस्क्रीट सीरीज, ये आपका क्या है? डिस्क्रीट सीरीज है. डिस्क्रीट सीरीज में you would have seen mainly two formulas, that is direct method as well as actual assume mean method. Assume mean method, shortcut method also, I have also I told you, but वो ज़रूरत नहीं है क्योंकि differences उतना नहीं है. तो you can go for assume mean method for mean as well as standard deviation. So here they won't give the chance of head and tail because we know that success is half, failure is half, since it is a coin. So first what you have to do is you have to write down the chances of success and failure, n, and this you have to write down. Then you have to expand the binomial like Q plus P to the power 8. This is how fitting of binomial expansion done. I have already told you this expansion Q8. For example, you have expanded this Q8, you are going to write P0, this you are going to write first term, then second term, then third term, first term, okay, then second term, then third term, like that you have to write and multiply all terms with n. The good part is that here P and Q is same. So one time if you are multiplying 1 by 2, you will be getting the value. And the value is what? Value 1 by 2. 8 times if you are multiplying, you will be getting 256. So what the binomial coefficient, that is what you are getting as expected frequency, you can see. And the total is 256. Right. So this is the second question. Theoretical values you are finding out NP and root over NPQ, mean and standard deviation of the theoretical distribution you are finding out, that is known as binomial distribution. And the last is you have to find out the mean and standard deviation of the observed frequency. You've already been studied. I've just used the actual mean method. What is the value of actual mean? What is the formula? Actual mean is equal to A plus sigma fd divided by n, where d is equal to x minus a. Assuming you can take some middle value which will be easy for you to compute, right? The same formula we can apply for standard deviation also. Formula is root over summation of fd square divided by n minus summation of fd divided by n whole square. That's it. This is how you can find out the expected frequency under binomial distribution. This is known as fitting of binomial distribution, and it is very important from the point of view of examination. If you have any doubt, you can post your doubts in the comment box. Thank you.